Flexible reading. Good readers are flexible readers. Take a look at this giant book, War and Peace, over 1,200 pages. And let's think about reading speed myths. Regarding this book, War and Peace, Woody Allen said, "I took a speed reading course and read War and Peace in 20 minutes. It involves Russia." So his point is that he read this giant book in 20 minutes, but he only learned that it was about Russia. So there are myths about speed reading. Let's look into those. We need to know the facts about reading speed. As we read, we stop and fix our eyes on a word or groups of words. This is called a fixation. And then our eyes jump to the next word or group of words, and this is called a saccade. So we have fixing and jumping, and the speed of fixing and jumping is limited by the human eye. So there are human limits to how fast a human being can actually read. And the numbers are about 250 to 300 words a minute. Any faster than that, and it's something different than really reading. And we call that, for example, skimming. When you skim, you can skim for a main idea or main ideas. So you read faster by skimming, just getting the main idea. So I open up the book, and I'm looking at this here. Okay, looks like this here section is about how to get more energy. Okay, high performance habits, right? So skimming is a kind of reading that's faster, but you don't try to get full understanding. You try to get main ideas with skimming. And then there's scanning, where we scan for specifics. So we read faster by scanning. We get a detail on not full understanding. So that page was about getting more energy. Oh, okay, a 60-second meditation. So breathe for 60 seconds and renew your energy. That's one specific detail. I didn't get the clear understanding of those pages, just one detail and the main idea with skimming and scanning. And pretty much everyone who can read knows how to do that. You can practice it, but remember, it is a technique where you speed up to get either a main idea or the main ideas or some detail. Skimming and scanning. So good readers are flexible readers. They change their reading speed, right? A good reader knows when to speed up and when to slow down. This looks really significant and important. I need to slow down and read this carefully. Oh, this looks like some extra information he's just talking about. I can speed up a little bit. Good readers use flexible speed. We can all learn to read faster, and one way to do that is to take a speed reading course. At my website, readoasis.com, we have a speed reading course. With a speed reading course, especially for English learners, you need to know 100% of the words in the stories or text that you read, because if you meet many unknown words or grammar points, you won't be able to practice your reading speed. You'll be stuck. So you need to know pretty much 100% of the words when you do a speed reading course. Use a timer and time how long it takes to read, and then you figure out your words per minute, and then you take a quiz. Try not to get 100% on a speed reading quiz, but maybe 70 or 80%, because you're pushing for speed, and then you repeat the process. So the speed reading course at readoasis.com has 20 stories in it. It's actually a famous speed reading course produced by Dr. Paul Nation and his colleagues, and you can look at it at readoasis.com under speed. So we can learn how to read faster, and English language learners, you should shoot for trying to get a reading speed of about 200 words per minute as a goal. That's a good goal to go for. But there's another kind of reading called intensive reading, right? With intensive reading, it's usually for language learning or language study reading. And when you do intensive reading, you need to know about 90% of the words in a text. And this intensive kind of language study reading works best for shorter text, for example, like poetry. Of course, then there's also pleasure reading. We read for fun. As a language learner, as an English learner, you need to know 98% of the words in a text or story that you want to read for pleasure or fun. And fun reading will grow your reading speed. And lastly, I want to mention one thing about rereading and study. Rereading doesn't work best for studying for tests. So you think, oh, I'm going to have a test on this book, I'll just reread the chapter. That's actually not the best way, because when you reread the chapter, you think, I know this, but you actually are just familiar with it and you don't really remember it. So the best way to study from a book for a quiz or a test is to self-quiz yourself, to make quiz questions for yourself. And I'll talk about that later in following videos regarding the Rise and Go principle. So that's all I have today about flexible reading. Thank you for listening.